Welcome back to Starfish Sea Fishing. Today I'm going to deal with a common issue we have with the Avet reels, the Avet SX 531MC. Same will apply for the Raptor version as well. This reel's just a bit noisy, this particular one, but this one's got the issue where your handle is really stiff. So this is the Magic Cast version, which is very good, slightly over magged in my opinion, but they're very good fishing reels. But the lever drag version, what's happening is on this particular reel, set the drag to max, drag, but now we can't turn the handle, it's so stiff. So the problem with these reels is the bearings inside on the drive shaft and the pinion are absolute rubbish. So we're going to do a bearing upgrade to this reel and fix this issue. So if you are having this issue, this is the video for you to watch. We'll start with a full strip down of the reel. We'll just take the lever drag system off first, put it into free spool, unwind the lever drag. So we have a spring on the back of that, we had to put that to one side, lift the handle off. Next thing we're going to do is remove the handle itself. It's just 2 Phillips screwdrivers on the plate. Leave the plate to one side with the 2 screws so we don't lose anything. Remove the nut from the handle. There's a washer at the back of the handle, so we just keep everything in situ and then we won't lose anything over there. Just going to use an old rag as well, save getting grease everywhere. Take the side plates off. Just remove the 3 screws. There's no need to remove the 2 lever drag stops, they can stay where they are. With the Avet screws, it's very easy to get into the Avets. Actually, there's only 3 screws and you're in. Slightly loosen the screws off, they don't come right out. Just break the back there and then the whole side will come off the reel. There's the inside of the Avets, so we need to get in this side, and there's a bearing in here as well we're going to replace. So to remove the spindle, there's one tiny washer that sits in front of this spring here. You've got a spring, you pull it out holding those at the back. Inside of here you've got a bearing and another spring. So it's a washer, a spring, a washer and a bearing. That's the spool. We tend to leave these on the back, I just wouldn't take them off. There's no point really. It's only 3 washers, you can clean them on the spool, leave them as they are. You won't get anything mixed up then. So inside the drag plate here, this bearing, because it's plastic, it can't take the pressure and these prematurely wear. We just pop that out. The best thing to do with that kind of bearing is put them in the bin. Luckily, the bearing off the 5.2 mag and the Pen Fathom 15, Pen Fathom 525 fits directly in. I've already pre-oiled this. So that's the first bearing we're going to upgrade. Now that's called like a thrust bearing, so that bearing can take pressure where this one can't. On these bearings here, if I can open one up, you just take the plate off the side, like so, to expose the bearings. And what happens is, the insides of here, if you can see where it's been rubbing on the inside of the plate. So that isn't ideal really, so not very good bearings. That's a much better bearing, it'll last a lot longer. Inside the spool itself, there's one small bearing. There's a drive shaft sleeve. And if we can push this bearing out the back, sometimes these can be very stiff to get out these bearings. Take the circlip out. Just watch it doesn't spring off, and that gives us access to the bearing. So we're going to remove this bearing. I'm going to give these a good soak and penetrate null for a while. We're just going to place a screwdriver at an angle, just give it a little tap. That should pop the bearings. So these bearings aren't too bad, the spool bearings are not sounding noisy, so I'm not going to replace them, but what I am going to do, I'm going to soak them in penetrating oil for a while. Just make sure that there's no rust in there. and then I'm going to clean them off with lighted fluid and then re-oil the bearings. So I took the spool bearings out, degreased them, cleaned them with lighter fluid after that to get rid of the greaser, and then I've oiled them up. So the way it goes on is the big bearing pushes inside that side like that. Put the clicker on. I should have took the line off this reel, but it's only just gone on, I don't really want to lose it. Push the circlip back in, like so. Next thing to do is put the spindle in, like so. So we've got the spindle in. The next thing to do is fit the spindle bush, fit a bearing. You have to give the bearing a little push into position. There's a little washer, a spring, and another little washer that sits on there like that. That's a spool done, so we'll leave that to one side. Now we've got the part of the reel that's got the problem in here. These are the bearings that are giving me all the problems with this stiff handle. So the best thing to do, pop the dog leg off, like so. Gently bend the dog leg over the pinion gear. Pull the drive shaft out. Take the main gear off. Pull the pinion out. Put those parts to one side. And this is the problem. I've got to get these bearings replaced. So these bearings here again, the plastic bearings, plastic shields on the bearings, and if you look how stiff that is to turn, that's the problem. It's all these bearings have seized up. I'm not keeping them, so I'll take the covers off. If I show you the inside of that cover, you can quite clearly see where the bearings have been rubbing. So that's the problem. We'll just mangle these shields off. If you do take them off, and you have got them, but you can see how bad that one is, particularly there. That's just been rubbing on the inside of the shield. So that's been causing all the problems. See, they are actually quite free. It's just they've been rubbing on the shields, but we're going to replace them with a different type of bearings, a more robust bearing. Right, so we're going to replace this pinion bearing. These are pressed in, and there's no way to pull them out. So what we're going to do is take the dog leg off. Like so we don't lose that. We're going to heat the plate up, and we're going to smack the side plate down, and hopefully the bearing will fall out. So we're going to give that a go now. So what I'm going to do to remove this bearing, I've got a little angled tool I've made, so it just sits under the pinion bearing and gives it a pull, but you'll find it's quite seized. So what we need to do is heat it up with a hairdryer till it gets hot. Hold it and then pull the bearing out, or slap the bearing down to get the bearing out. There's one bearing. Now the plate's hot, so make sure you hold it on something. There we go. There's a pinion bearing out. So they are a bit tricky. I'll just show you how tricky they are to get out. If you can't get the bearings back in, you're going to have to heat this up to get the bearings back in as well. But I'm not expecting any trouble from that one, I don't think. There we go. So there's all the bearings out we need to replace. Right, so the plate's free now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upgrade them to these, which are stainless steel ABEC 7 rated bearings. They're obviously thrust because they've got the metal shields, so they should last a lot longer. So I'm just going to clean them up, oil them up and put them in the reel. So it's a thrust bearing now, so the side plates won't collapse under pressure from the air lever drag. So I've oiled it up. I'm going to place it in and pop it back into position. Now if it won't go fully home, which it has luckily, you'd have to heat the side plate up and then pop it in again to make the alley expand. But that's gone in nice by just pressing it in. There we go. And the drive shafts, they're the bearings there. You can see quite clearly from the other one. they were rubbing on the inside of the bearing. So the plastic shield bearings are just no good. Wouldn't use them, they're a load of rubbish. So we've got some ABEC 7 stainless steel high-speed bearings here. So we're going to replace them with these, and then we won't have any problem because they're thrust bearings with metal plates, so they'll work a lot better. So I'm just going to put some oil in these. There's no need to take the grease out of them, they're not spool bearings. Just let some oil soak in. Quite a bit of oil in these, protect them from the salt water. We're going to place it in. Sometimes you might have to heat this plate up to press these bearings in, so it doesn't feel like it's going in smoothly. That's what you're going to have to do, but perfect fit. We've got the drive shaft to go in on that side, and the other drive shaft bearing, which is giving me a little bit of grief. So there we go, it's in. So that's the bearing upgrade on this side of the reel. So we're now on all stainless steel bearings now, so we're not going to have any problems with bearings getting crushed and stiff handles and stuff like that. So let's get this back together. Well, the first thing we're going to do is get the dog leg back in. So the dog leg sits that way inside the reel. So that side goes in there like so underneath, pops into its little home. Take the plate, add the 2 screws. So don't over tighten them, they just need a little nip up. So we'll put the pinion in. Here's the pinion into the pinion bearing. The gears. So there's a square on the back of that gear, a square on the back of the gear. So that needs to fall in like so and clip in. There's a little washer that sits on top. Place that into the drive shaft. There's your gears in. So we need to take this dog leg now. There's a little trick with this. If we remove this part of the circlip, like so, just gently pull it over that pinion. Place it. And you want to get this now. It is a bit tricky this actually, but it's got to be done this way. It can't be done any other way. So we need to place that in the hole like so, and then push the circlip back on, and that holds it down. So there's your dog leg. So that's that side of the reel done. So what we do now is we take the brake. We don't grease the brake on the Avet reels, so we want to get any grease off that plate there. We place that on the pinion like so. That's that side of the reel done. So what we're going to do is put the spool back in. So we're going to place the spool back in to the cage. So we just line those up with the inside, the back of the spool, push the spool in. Make sure that this spring and this little clip here is over where it wants to be before we put the side plate on, otherwise it won't go over properly. Place the gear side of the reel in, and we just clip it together like so. Put the 3 screws back in. Again, we don't over tighten them at all, just hand tight will do. Replace the handle. So there's one large washer, it's got a recess on it that sits down like so. There's the handle, a little washer that goes on top of that into the handle. Tighten the handle back up. Place the retain in place to stop the bolt from moving when you wind it in. Put the 2 screws in there again. literally just a nip up. Don't over tighten these, you won't get them back out, you end up buying a new handle. Lever drag system, set it to 3, place the cap, and that's pretty much it. So we'll test that now. Right, so we'll test that now. Put it back into free spool on the lever drag, put it into full strike. There we go. And now turn the handle, and the handle's turning beautifully. That's fixed, that's ready to go. Really nice. The only other thing I'd say is if this still continues after replacing those 3 bearings, which I just advise you replace anyway, is the big bearing or the little bearing on the spool will be seized. So I'd replace all the bearings in one go, and then you'll end up with a nice free running reel on full strike. There we go, Avet SX.